Race 7 on the card is the Mistress Trophy, I think it is. The Kevin Sharkey Mistress Trophy, to give it its full name. Have to say, I've never really... Something I've always meant to ask is what differentiates a stakes versus a trophy race? Is anything particular, or is it just a choice of words? And Kevin Sharkey obviously puts a lot into Tasmanian racing, regularly sees his name as a race sponsor, so deserves to have his name associated with one of the feature races in the state. Obviously, I've had a couple of handball received so far in a couple of previews, with the Derby and the Strut Stakes being very light on for numbers and pretty obvious as far as chances. Bit more depth in this, but still looks pretty clear cut as far as the main hopes are concerned. We begin with the favourite in Dance to Dubai. First of all, we just look at the race in that it's set weights for mares, all carrying 56.5, and as an 89 rater, taking on mostly horses rated mid-70s, she'll be giving most of these 4 to 5 kilos if it was a standard handicap. Just going to give some very raw facts. We won't delve too much into it here, but she's bolted in a couple of benchmark 84 races at a past couple. On speed, strong on the line. The rest of these never competed in those races, let alone bolt them in. Barrier 11, maybe some concern, but when you look at the field, there's not too many speed machines. You've got Raduna will definitely press forward from gate 2, but most of the others are take a position type. So with the amount of early speed she's got, I'm pretty confident she can at least just work straight over to be three wide. And the New Hobart track is one of those momentum type tracks where it's not a great penalty to sit wide as long as you're keeping your momentum. Actually, watching races out there tonight, track like Pakenham is very similar. Like a lot of horses sit wide and don't sort of seem to be impacted negatively at all. So ticks a lot of boxes, Dance to Dubai. Might just go have a look at the replay of those wins. So as we pointed out, try to pick holes in it. As I said, like has been in stronger grade than this. They've both been at Moonee Valley. I think she's 3 of 3 at Moonee Valley. So whether track specialist, you've got to factor things like that in, but you can see the amount of early speed she's got straight to the front. And she's a bit like trying to think of a racehorse where they sort of build on the speed. They're not push button. She sort of puts a gap on them under riding. The jockey just doesn't push the accelerator and zoom away. She sort of just works through the gears and keeps running them into the ground. Probably a bit nature strippish. Just to clarify for the 1% who may try and aggregate that comment, that I've comparing racing styles only, to state the obvious. So obviously just very strong on the line, work both ends. If we go back to the Flemington run, and this was Invincible Caviar race. It was a dead heat, and she's very strong on the line here over 1200. So she's got the nose roll on with the white colours here, 3 off the inside. We'll just go. So you can see she goes back to the inside here, and she gets very close to the others on the line. So you've got Invincible Caviar here. I'm not sure what the horse is. This was a bit of a uproar about a dead heat this day from memory. But so if these horses have gone past her, she's probably a bit unlucky in retrospect. Far side, and she's very strong late. I must admit, she opened 275, and if I'd done, she's still sort of, if I had have done markets before that race before then, I definitely would have jumped into that. It's around evens now, and to be honest, not potting her at that price either. I think it's quite legitimate. Second favourite in the race is Raduna at $6, which on exposed form is probably fair enough. But I just looked at both of her trials. Like, we'll go and watch the one in Rose Hill. Like, did trace home some very handy horses. Obviously, Mr. Brightside at Geelong, and the Poachers, I think he's won 3 or 4 races in Sydney. But if we just watch the trial, first of all, you can see the early speed on running horse kicking up on the inside here to hold the inside. So you imagine from gate 2 in this race, it normal racing pattern is to lead, but you can just see sort of underriding in the trial here back on the inside. You'd like to see them travel on the bridle for longer in trials if you're going to be second favourite in a feature race. You see, she's flat out here late. Yeah, so, and then we go to the Geelong trial, which I think I've got Raduna here. Yeah, so obviously some of these horses are a different grade
The sport on
to her, like the Mr. Brightsides of the world, etc. You know, sort of Cox Plate. But just have a look at the early speed again. So 3 out here, just working to the front. You can see virtually never travels the entire trial. Maybe racing pattern, like, as I said, I'm only too well aware that some horses trial like bombs, and on race days they perform like sort of prick balloons, and you get other horses, they know sort of the race day that it's D-Day type of thing. But you see here, she just sort of said you don't expect her to beat these horses, but you just like to see sort of probably do it a bit easier. But talking of trials, I'm reminded that my old mate GG Queen Bee's in the last race. I think she actually, the Tas Racing form analyst Matt Reid, I think he called her one day the Winx of trials. And perfectly put, to be honest. It sucked me into most of them as well. But that's Raduna. Like, as I said, I expected a lead. I'm just concerned that I think she probably could be going a tad better. If she leads, then from gate 2, the horse-drawn barrier 1 here is for a reason. It's been going around in weaker grade, but as I pointed out, Dance to Dubai won a couple of benchmark 84 races there recently at Flemington. For Real Life won a benchmark 70 last start at Flemington. Just have a look at that. But the thing I like here is she's a horse that likes to be tucked away. So from barrier 1, she's going to trail the horse from barrier 2 and get a gun trip. So she's here with the nose roll on, red cap, red, white and blue colours. So you can see she's just stalking the speed here. When the pokes head through the gap and lets down for about 150 metres and then does peak on the run. So that's why I really like where she's drawn this week, just to get the smother back on the fence. And they do tend to fan on the home turn in Hobart. Now we consider, though, that we're at set weights here, and Dance to Dubai was exceptionally strong in benchmark 84 grade. This is benchmark 70 grade. And at same weights, it's hard to make a case for it to beat her. But just maps well. If you're not a favourite punter, then this is probably the each way bet in the race, just from a map perspective. More place than win. So also in the race here, so I'll cover the locals shortly. We've got Embella here. I think sort of 15, 16 bucks Embella. Race form doesn't really too flash. She's been sent up to Sydney. Couple of fair runs, like around in benchmark 72, 78 races. But second at Geelong trial I'm thunderstruck and that horse ran fourth in the trial. What's his name? Alligator Blood and stuff. We'll have a look at that trial.
Here's to the blue.
I don't know how people do form watching Victorian races, having to watch those ads all the time. But so if we just have a look here, so you can see her, she is here in the run fourth, one off the inside in the blue with the black cap, skull cap. So you've got Alligator Blood in the blue with the white, not sure what type of cross you call that. This I'm Thunderstruck in the blue and gold hoops. So, but she's a horse in the middle here, and like these are in the boat, and like they're serious race horses. Like, and she's like a 72 rated mare. She's on the back of Alligator Blood here in the blue colours. I'm pretty sure that's Alligator Blood in those blue and cross colours. I know he's in the trial, but I just want to make sure that, yeah, Mr. Brightside, Call Sign Mav. Oh, that's the Raduna trial. I bit the wrong. Sorry about this one. It was this trial. Oh, I'm Thunderstruck one. Yeah. View results. Yeah, so Alligator Blood in the Skidor in the boat. You know, she's going head to head with those. Obviously, she was under a bit more riding, but when you consider the abilities measured up, you're getting $16 this horse in this race. I just think, given the prices of some of the others, I'd rather $16 it than $6 Raduna, given the respective trials. But so that's virtually all the interstate horses. I'll just confirm if there's any more. Oh, you've got Belciel sort of form marries up a little bit. It's hard to sort of mount a case that she can beat the favourite, but shouldn't be that far away. To sort of probably looks sort of like 6th to 7th type of thing. Tasmanians, there's not too much between them at all. Emily did run second in an open class sprint 2 runs back and went round sort of even money in the, what's the big mares feature, the Lady Lynette, the other day. Fair to say she was pretty average to the eye. Forgive that. She's clearly the leading seed from a Tasmanian perspective, but if you believe what you see, then worrying signs. Queenborough Flyer was pretty dominant in that race, but did enjoy a perfect run in transit and virtually draws the outside gate, 12 of 12 here. So, but we'll go and have a look at that Tasmanian race. So Queenborough Flyer. And I'll point out who's who, if we can remember.
Lady Lynette, lighters on.
Right, so you've got, what's the horse? Jar Jar Jabugi on the inside, kicking up to lead. You've got Emily in the Star Thoroughbred colours, the purple with the white stars. You've got Queenborough Fly, as I said, box seating here. In the pretty dominant on the line. You've got Serene Striker in the pinky type colours. Miss Tuppence in the, keep calling them Mystic Journey colours, the white with the red sleeves and cap. So that's virtually all of them. So, but you can see here that Creamer Flyers come off the fence. Emily's virtually had a good run throughout and got her back and lost her back. Serene Striker goes okay. Zsa Zsa Boogie sticks on okay. Miss Tuppence hits the fence. But if you consider this horse now comes barrier 12 of 12, they're virtually all get about the same mark for the race once the barriers are taken into account. Emily, like, she just hasn't got any of her old usual zip there. So not sure if something was amiss. As you said, if you took evens last start and you're going to cop, what is she, $14, $15, $11 this time round, may pay to have a couple of bucks on if you're the forgiving type. But for me, I find it very difficult to go past the favourite, Dance to Dubai. I'm not perturbed by the barrier. She'll make her own luck on speed. Like horses on speed, make their own luck, and they're not speedy squibs either. The map horse is for real life. It for second. Best to the locals, I'll still go Creamer Flyer. Like, if it just comes over with Dance to Dubai, there's a chance it can, if it manage to slot in behind, make it third pick. And also Mbella for fourth. So 1, 5, 13 and 6 in the Mistress Trophy. Cheers.